Second, we're strengthening regional economic connectivity. For example, we're establishing a new business platform to complement our diplomatic engagement and better connect our private sectors for development purposes. And we're also discussing the potential for a new critical minerals dialogue to strengthen our energy security and supply chains for years to come. And third,
plus in monthly payments to the families to help others throughout the year, and the other half was given as part of a household's tax refund. The household with pretty much no or low income was able to receive it for the first time. And though it can take years for the policy to have the tangible effects, the impact of the credit was pretty much very noticeable, very fast. And so I believe it's pretty much right for Joe Biden to send out another one. Don't you guys agree? Parents reported using the advance payments for household essentials like groceries, clothing, schools, and utilities. And despite worries from conservatives, researchers found no evidence that the policy discouraged people from going back to work. Instead, it probably motivated people to get back to work. The Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, everybody, said the success of the 2021 expansion showed us that child poverty rates are a policy choice, not inevitable. And Congress failed to renew the expansion in 2021, reverting the credit back to its former, less generous iteration. It's one of the reasons that families could see smaller tax refunds this year when they file their returns, because some tax credits have already implemented their own version of a child tax credit last year to make up for the difference. Still, without this expansion, everybody, millions of people fell back into poverty at the beginning of last year. It made many people broke, and it hurt so many households. But folks, here's a solution to this. Folks, there is a new fourth stimulus check, and thousands of Americans are set to receive checks worth as much as $2,500 very soon. Many of you are wondering whether your state will send you one. Well, I'll be sharing all this important information for the fourth stimulus payment in today's video. So continue watching. We got a ton of news about this. Since the IRS distributed the final batch of these economic impact payments to eligible individuals, the concept of a fourth federal stimulus payment has been under consideration. There are several statewide programs that are in full swing or just getting started. The Alaska Permanent Fund Dividend pays Alaska residents a portion of state minerals revenue in the form of an annual dividend to benefit current and future generations. Although the deadline is March 31st of the year for which you're applying, there are some exceptions. According to officials, applicants who filed an application online and have been determined eligible will receive a September 22 stimulus payment. That's until the end of October comes of $75,000 or less that were entitled to the full $1,400. It was reduced for those making more than $80,000 receiving a payment. I also want you guys to know that the IRS may owe you money based on crisis-related funds. Stimulus funds, that is, if you haven't even gotten your stimulus check yet. A ton of information about the fourth stimulus check is here, and stimulus payments are here for you and the people that need it the most. Chuck Schumer and the Senate could give a final proposal and approval by Thursday, in a week extension of the stimulus payments. Schumer said the House of Representatives is set to act on a one-week continuing resolution and a stopgap funding bill as soon as tonight. And when the bill comes to the Senate, we should be ready to get this done as soon as possible. So, Chuck Schumer also said that House Republicans have encouraged their leaders to vote against the bill in a protest of what they call trillions of dollars of wasteful spending, even though it's going to the people that need stimulus the most. The House of Representatives had already passed a short-term funding bill last night to avoid this government shutdown. They kicked the Friday funding deadline next week to allow lawmakers more time to strike a deal on the spending for the remainder of the fiscal year 2023. The continuing resolution passed in a 224 to 201 vote, and now heads to the Senate, where it must pass and be sent to President Biden's desk before midnight on Friday to avoid a shutdown. This measure will keep the government funded at current levels until December 23rd. Also, folks, in a notice sent by the House Minority Leader, he said that leadership recommended Republicans to vote no on the bill in an attempt to buy additional time for a lame duck session. But now this means that gas prices are continuing to drop as demand lowered and oil prices held steady. The national average for a cost of gas is $3.26, and that's 50 cents less than a month ago and 6 cents less than a year ago. As the winter weather keeps people homebound, less demand for gas and continued stability in oil prices has contributed to the steady decline of gas prices. AAA spokesperson told Fox News that the seasonal pattern of less driving due to shorter days and crummy weather, combined with lower oil costs, is driving gas prices lower. If this trend continues, many states could see their average gas price fall by $3 a gallon. Under the weight of economic concerns, everybody, a possible surge in crisis and a changed psyche is causing oil prices last week to fall again to nearly a decade low. Oil prices have struggled mightily to hold its rally that amounts to 14% of their personal income tax. And according to the state law, the state must return to taxpayers a portion of excess state revenue. If tax revenue collections exceed the annual tax, well, the revenue cap is going to be pretty much at insurmountable levels. But here's what we need to know about the fourth stimulus check. The state began sending out the refunds in November. Eligible taxpayers that are receiving the refund through direct deposit or check sent in the mail, and those who have not yet filed their 21 tax returns have until September 15 to do so. There will be many more Americans getting a major check worth more than $3,000. It's been a few months since Alaska has been sending out the cash from its permanent fund dividend that had paid out to a lot of people in the state. Now, back in 2022, these checks were pretty much worth $4,000, and the exact date of when you get the money is sent is just deposited and depends on when applications are approved. Because Alaska's permanent fund dividend is continuing to accept applications through March 31st, and residents have until February 28th to file an application for property tax rebates as part of our state's Anchor benefit program. An estimated 2 million households in the Garden State are eligible for Anchor, which stands for Affordable New Jersey Community Homeowners. Now, homeowners who earn up to $150,000 will receive $1,500 in property tax, and they're also going to get a lot more money in stimulus payments. And also, another state like Connecticut, one of those northern states, you will begin issuing the payments from its premium pay program, or we call it Triple P. In the next 5 to 6 weeks, people will get stimulus. Yes, folks, this is great news. It looks like our Democrats in Congress are finally looking to help out our American seniors and increase the Social Security benefits. We support the increase in Social Security benefits, folks. Leave your thoughts in the comments below.
Now I want to provide an update on our efforts to help millions of Americans down south recover and rebuild from Hurricane Ida. We've been monitoring this hurricane closely and the devastation it's caused. To date, 6 deaths. About 1 million homes are without power in Louisiana and Mississippi. While the catastrophic flooding wasn't as severe as it was during Hurricane Katrina 16 years ago.
Now Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren, as well as Ron Wyden, have revealed a plan to increase monthly benefits of Social Security, veterans, SSI, and SSDI by $200 a month. This would improve the lives of millions of Americans and help the economy stabilize. Now, the Democratic plan, everybody, would give seniors, veterans, and people with disabilities who have earned this benefit by contributing to Social Security, with every paycheck, an additional $4,000 over the next 2 years.
Thank you, Governor, and first my condolences and heart and prayers to all of the families who have lost loved ones. Imagine the horror of you're sitting in your own basement apartment and the water just floods in all of a sudden with no notice, and you struggle to get out, but you can't. It's an awful, awful situation, and our hearts go out to them. I too want to thank all of our New Yorkers.
Now, Chuck Schumer said this: immediately increasing Social Security benefits will put money in the pockets of seniors, veterans, and people with disabilities.